All right, so obviously, this has been a big story in the NFL lately, and it's about Brian Flores. He sent a lawsuit against the NFL and a number of teams for racist hiring practices. Well, now on NFL.com, there's this story here, and it is NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Results of efforts to promote diversity within head coaches unacceptable. Now, as everybody knows, they've got the Rooney Rule, which means that you have to interview, I believe it's now actually two minority head coach applicants for any open head coaching position. Now, everybody knows that this is a racist rule. This Rooney Rule is completely racist. It forces people to basically get sham interviews. It forces people into uh, positions for interviews which the team may well not want, right? And frankly, I think it's insulting that because you get a guy who has worked his way through the system and he's very good and he knows his job. He's an offensive coordinator and he's getting excited and he wants to, build his career. Well, now it's like you get your interview, but you're only getting it. You're wasting your time because the team, let's say, wants person X. Okay. They want Bob Jones because Bob Jones has been a guy that they really like. They like his philosophy, they like everything about him. And you know what? So Bob Jones is their key guy. That's the guy they want to get. But now, Ron Jackson, who has been great, he's this fantastic offensive coordinator. He's got a great mind for football. There's nothing wrong with him. Okay. But he doesn't suit the same style. He's got a running offense, but they want the passing offense. Well, they want that guy, but now they have to bring in this guy, right? Poor Ron Jackson, he gets pulled in for this interview when they don't even want him. They just have to freaking bring him in. Now, the philosophy is, well, even if he doesn't get it, they get to see him and get to know him and get comfortable with him and they get to learn about him, and then maybe they say, hey, you know what, this guy's actually pretty good, he's got some great ideas, let's bring him in, right? Sure, maybe, but that could happen with anybody. But the bigger thing is this guy here who now gets this interview, he's like, all right, let's do this. He goes in there with virtually no chance to get it, not because he's black. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin, but it has everything to do with the fact that he doesn't match what that team wants. So they are a mismatch. But this guy going in there, he has to spend all these days preparing his plan for this big 3-4 hour interview. And he has to get his binder's worth of playbooks and his philosophy and his system and talk about how he's going to draft and how he wants to freaking put people into certain positions and how he will make them effective. So he's going to be going through the roster and seeing what talent they have. And he's going to say, look, here's a guy that can do this. And here's a guy that can do this. Now I can put him here and I can use this kind of play. And we can do these kinds of things. And this is my vision for the team. He's wasted all that time. Okay. He's wasted all that time and that effort that he would have been better spent doing into his own team to make his own team better. But he's forced to do it. He's forced to do it because he can't say, oh, this is just a sham interview, because maybe it's not. Maybe it's not, even though it is. Now, the problem is when you get these sham interviews, and we all know it happens. We all know it happens. When you get them, you then end up with things like this Brian Flores situation. Now, Brian Flores was a guy that when they fired him, I said, why would you fire this guy? He had 2 winning seasons, right? Now, they weren't great seasons, but they were 2 winning seasons, and the Dolphins came in on a hot tear. They finished the season very strong. I think they won 8 out of their last 9 games. Everything is looking good. But they say, nope, we're getting rid of him. And you know what? Fine, fair enough. You're allowed to fire him. Okay, you absolutely can fire this guy. But I said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And now I hear, look at this, see here. Brian Flores has filed this lawsuit, okay, against the NFL and 3 of its teams, Broncos, Dolphins, and Giants, alleging a pattern of racist. Now I say, screw this guy, okay? He is just a whiner. He's a whiner and a baby. And he's saying, oh, they didn't hire me, and I'm sure it's because I'm black. Even though you've been an NFL head coach, you had a 3-year stint as the Miami Dolphins head coach, and now you're like, oh, boo-hoo, it's so racist in this league, I can't get ahead. Sorry, you'll forgive me if I think you're just a crybaby. And let's be serious. There are plenty of other reasons to fire somebody rather than just performance. So let's take a look here. I'm just going to pop this open. I'm going to say Marty Schottenheimer. So we're going to pull up Marty Schottenheimer and we're going to see his record. So if we go down here, we'll see that he had a time where he was the head coach for the San Diego Chargers. His last year, he was 14-2. Okay? He had a 9-7, and he had a 12-4. So there you go. So his last 3 seasons, he went 12-4, 9-7, 14-2. That 14-2 year, he got fired. Is it because he was black? Oh, whoops, I guess not. Okay, it's because he didn't get along with the general manager. There was a power struggle and he lost. That's the reality. So when I see somebody like Brian Flores, who doesn't have nearly the resume that Marty Schottenheimer does, and then you hear stories coming out about him and the quarterback and him and possibly the owner and all sorts of things, and him just basically not really being the greatest guy and people didn't have his back, you start to go, maybe they had some good seasons, but maybe he's just not the right guy. Maybe he's not freaking so good, and they won almost in spite of him rather than because of him. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a load of crap, stuff like this. Now, and this is why the Rooney Rule should be gone. So, here's what we see, though. We see NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, results of efforts to promote diversity within head coaches, unacceptable. This is the problem right here. Okay? So they have instituted the Rooney Rule, which went from 1 mandatory interview to 2 mandatory interviews. And we see something like this here. I'm just going to make sure that this video, I hate these autoplay videos that just, okay, and it's done. Fantastic. So here we go. When we look at this, now this here is from 2020. So this is a little while ago. Okay. The immediate rule changes come as they search for ways to fix the Rooney Rule after another hiring cycle where minority candidates were significantly bypassed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's so terrible being a minority candidate, including just three. See, look, let's highlight this. Just 3 of those past 20 head coaching options. They should have either used a number here and a number here, or printed this and then printed this as well as 20. Head coaching openings going to minorities. Oh my goodness, 3. Now, my math may not be great, but let me pull up my calculator here. Now, I'm going to say if we want to go 3 divided by 20, that equals 15%. Okay, 15% of the positions went to minority candidates. And let's go here. Facts about U.S. black population from Pew Research. In 2019, 14% of the country's population was black. So let's go back to 3 of 20 is 15%, and the population is 14%. That sounds like it's pretty much bang on. Okay, that sounds like there's not really significantly ignoring those minority candidates. Okay, they were not significantly bypassed. It seems like that's pretty close to the proportion within the population. But then we come back to here. Unacceptable. So the fact that he calls it unacceptable, it's not, and it's the results. It's not the efforts are unacceptable. It's the results are unacceptable. So that says they have a number in their mind. They say it has to be X number. It has to be 50%. It has to be 60%. It has to be 100%, whatever that number is. Because if you have a number that is equal to the population breakdown, that is unacceptable. It's not good enough. And they will keep forcing teams to jump through hoops and to do more stuff until finally they bend and they break and they finally say, fine, I'll just hire whoever the hell you want. Throw me some black dude in front of me and I'll take him. And that is not fair to those teams because these teams have a right to hire whoever they want. And it's not fair to those black coaches because now the people that are getting hired as black coaches, are they the best? Do they deserve the job? Okay, who knows? They might be a diversity hire. They might be like the next Supreme Court justice, where they just say, we don't care who it is, just throw some freaking black guy in there and we're good. The league's not going to hassle us. We're not going to have all these boycotts. We're not going to have to deal with all this crap. Well, maybe we won't get named in a lawsuit. We just need some black dude out there. Okay. And is that good? Is that good for that guy? Because maybe he is the best person for the job. But when people now are watching and people see, oh, this guy's been hired, they're going to say, is he really what we want though? Like, there's a lot of really good coaches available. Why'd they go for this guy? Oh, that's right. The new Rooney Rule says that 1 out of every 3 times you replace your head coach, you must do so with a minority candidate, or whatever new step they take to ensure that minority candidates get the opportunity to be a coach. Okay. And that, again, that's not fair. It's an insult to that person. So this is ridiculous. So when he is saying, look at this, racism and any form of discrimination is contrary to the NFL values. We've made significant efforts to promote diversity and adopted numerous policies and programs which have produced positive changes in many areas. However, we must acknowledge that, particularly with respect to head coaches, the results have been unacceptable. Oh, well, why don't you break out your whip and start a little self-flagellation, okay? Get going on your back there, Mr. Goodell. Because here is a lie right there. That is a lie, okay? Racism and any form of discrimination is contrary to NFL's values. That's a lie because by instituting the Rooney Rule in any form, you are discriminating against a team's right to interview the people that they want for that position. You are forcing them to have to do something else. You are discriminating against their autonomy, against their right to choose who they want, free from interference. So discrimination is not contrary to your values. In fact, it is fundamental to your values when you add a rule like the Rooney Rule. This is why it must be removed. It must absolutely be removed. And they must take all of this crap about, oh, the league is so racist and we're so, everybody's so against black people succeeding in the NFL. I just take a look at the NFL and you will see that the league is not against black people succeeding in the NFL. Okay, it's time we stop dividing people by race. It's been that time forever, forever. And it is going worse and worse and worse. The more woke people get, the more regressive they get. They call it progressive, but it is regressive, make no mistake. The worse it gets. And they've got to start getting rid of all of these special interest rules. Get rid of them, toss them out of the workforce, and let things happen in a nice, free, meritocratic manner.